Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm taking advantage of those gorgeous peaches that are still available to us, and I'm going to show you what I like to call a peach crumble pie. So really, what had happened was, I really like peach crumble, like peach crisp, and I really like peach pie. I like that pie crust underneath that soaks up all the peachy juices. So, combine the two, peach crumble pie. Fabulous, delicious, minimal basic ingredients, but when you're using peaches that are in season, that are fresh, that are beautiful, like, does it get better than that? I think not. Let's go over the list of ingredients. You will need lots of peaches. You want to make sure your peaches are firm so that you can slice them and chop them, but not so hard that they have no flavor. You also need flour. What I have here is some vanilla sugar. If you don't want to use vanilla sugar, use granulated sugar with a drop of vanilla extract. Then for the topping, you'll need flour, brown sugar, cinnamon, salt, oats, and some butter. This is actually going to be for the filling. And you'll need some pie crust. Look at me, like a 1950s commercial. This is just a standard 9-inch pie crust. You can buy it at the grocery store, which I very often do. This was store-bought. Or you can make a ton of them in advance if you want to. I have not been that smart this summer, so I haven't had time to do that. But I have a great recipe, a standard pie crust recipe on my website that I've been using for years and years and years, and I love. So that's my recommendation to you. And it's just in a greased 9-inch pie plate. That's it. I've got my oven preheated to 350, and we are ready to rock and roll. Now, to my peaches, I need to add the flour and my sugar. Now, I don't like to add too much sugar because when you're using something that's in season, it's naturally going to be really sweet and wonderful. So you don't need, I don't like to add a whole cup of sugar. I like to add about 2/3 of a cup, and I find it to be perfect. But taste your peaches. If you feel like they don't have enough flavor or they're not sweet enough, then by all means go ahead and add a cup. Sugar, flour, lemon, peaches. That's it, because you want the flavor of the peaches to really come through. And it looks like there's a lot of flour, but there really isn't, and you do need it because the peaches are going to leach out a lot of their own juices, and you don't want everything to be a really soggy mess. Otherwise, your pie will never hold together. Step 1, done. Step 2, I've got my flour, a very small pinch of cinnamon. You could also use nutmeg. I love that because it's also reminiscent of a peach cobbler. And a little bit of salt. And I mix these all together. I don't have to do a crazy amazing job, doesn't matter. I'm going to add my butter, cold butter. And then this is a pastry cutter. If you don't have one, invest in one. They're inexpensive, and if you make a lot of crumb toppings and things like that, this comes in handy. But if you don't have it, just use a fork. Just more time consuming. And I'm impatient, I need to get this in the oven. And all I'm going to do is just kind of break the butter up into small pieces, kind of to resemble the size of peas, so that it's distributed well throughout the flour. And you can see when it collects on top of that like that, you just take a spoon or a knife or whatever you have and just brush it off. And you continue to do that until the butter is to your desired shape or size. Add in your oats. Give those a stir, and now set this aside. To your pie crust, just fill it with this gorgeous mixture of peaches. You can see I've chopped the peaches, but I haven't chopped them up so much so that you can't even tell what they are. I still like them in nice large chunks, so I would say about 1 inch or so, maybe a little bit bigger. I basically peel them with a knife. If they're hard enough, you know, if they're right at the right texture, you can peel them with a knife without having to blanch them. But if you find that you're having a hard time peeling them, just take a peach, score at the very bottom with a sharp knife, drop them into some boiling water for 30 seconds, then plunge them into ice bath to stop them from cooking further, and the peel will just come right off. We've known each other for 6 years. If I don't have to go through that step, I'm not going to. So I just carefully peel all of them, and this was about 8 peaches to get a total of a little over 6 cups. And then just take them and cut them into thick slices, and then cut the slices in half. That's all. It's really easy and really simple. And just pile that beauty in your pie crust like that. I mean, how gorgeous is that? I just want to take a picture of that because it's so fabulous. And then just top it with your crumble, and that is it. Just cover it with your crumble. or crisp mixture, whichever you call it. Now I'm just gonna pop this on a baking sheet so it makes it easier to get it in and out of the oven. This goes in at 350 for around an hour, and then it needs to cool for several hours before we dig in, which is gonna be like the most crucial part for the pie because it needs to set, but the most torturing part for me because I'm gonna have to smell it and look at it and can't eat it. My pie baked for about an hour and I've let it cool for about 2.5 to 3 hours. You want to make sure it's pretty much fully cooled, otherwise it's not going to set, because when you bring this out of the oven, all those peachy juices are bubbling and they're so yummy, but they do need time to set. I can no longer wait because it has just been torturing me. I'm going to cut a piece of this, although I know I should let it cool just a bit longer because I can tell it's still warm. But that is okay. We live dangerously around here. Yes. That is, if I can get it off, that is fantastic. Now you do want this to cool a little bit further, obviously, but as you can see, it's gorgeous. You've got your beautiful crumb topping, your peaches are just juicy. Your pie crust is perfectly cooked and it's absorbed all those beautiful peachy, I keep saying peachy goodness because that's what it is. And they have such good flavor. You need a good scoop of vanilla ice cream and this would be absolute perfection. Go to laurainthekitchen.com, get the written recipe. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. Do not hesitate. Hurry up and make this pie this weekend because it is everything. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.